and welcome to the show. On the show today, as usual, I have my audience. Welcome. Well, it promises to be quite an interesting package because we have on the menu Amala with Ewedu, and there is Cowleg stew somewhere in between. So do stay with us. Also, I would like to say that I've been getting a response from the audience, and I'm very glad for that. So, what can I say? It is a program that's supposed to lure the younger generation into the kitchen, make them cook healthy meals. That's the main focus. But it's also showbiz. So, there has to be a little bit of show in it as well. Enough talk, we'll be right back.
Nigeria, nnukwu obodo aja amatụ n'ụwa niile gba gburugburu agbaala afọ 50 n'otu abidoro echi onwe anyị maọbụ independence n'asụ bekee. Oge eruola a ga-ekwusa esemokwu tigbuo ozugbo na agwa ọjọọ ndị ọzọ nwere ike ibute nkewa n'etiti anyị. Oge mgbaghara erugo, oge ịfụnanya erugo ka anyị ji ofu obi na-eme maka ọdịmma Nigeria. Nigeria, orílẹ̀-èdè tó ń ṣọ̀fún wàrà tó ń ti wá pé ọmọ ọdún mọ́kànléláàdọ́ta báyìí tí a gbòmìnira. Àsìkò tó láti dẹ́kun ìjà ẹlẹ́yàmẹ̀yà àtẹlẹ́sìnmẹ̀sì láàrin ara wa. Àgbájọ la mo fi sọ̀yà ẹ jẹ́ ká gbárùkù ti Nigeria kó ba lè kẹsẹ̀ járí. Àmọ́ ṣeéṣe o.
Nigeria kasa mai albarka ta cika shekaru 51 da muka samu incin kanmu. Lallai wannan lokaci da na bada shawarwari na musamman mu haɗa gwada juna. Mu daina kashe-kashe kan addini ko kuma kabilanci, babu bambanci tsakanin mu, dukan mu ɗaya ne a gaban Allah mai komai mai kowa. Mu ba gwamnatin da ke kan gado goyon baya domin ci gaban Nigeria. As we dey jolly say Nigeria don knack 51 year, the ogbonge matter wey dey for ground now be say make we stop to dey kill ourselves. Say because I come from south, you come from north, you be Muslim, I be Christian. All of us na the same thing, no. Make we no gree make the devil spoil this better work wey God don start for Nigeria. Nigeria na our own. This better message from NTDC.
Okay, did I mention in the opening that we are going to have a special guest? That's also a regular part of the show now, so you must know that by now. So, for our menu, we are going to be using Cowleg in the stew. Cowleg is very good for stews because stews are supposed to cook really slowly. But because ladies these days do not have so much time, I have done a trick, which is to cook the Cowleg in a pressure pot for like 15 minutes, maybe a day before you need it, and then leave it inside its juice. Just leave it there until you're ready to use it. So all the goodness, the salt, the garlic, the ginger that we used to cook will just marinate the meat. Then for the stew, we're going to need this tomato, red oil, seasoning, salt of course, and onions. Then we have Ewedu. Now I'm going to do my Ewedu a little bit differently. We're going to use this Ewedu. This is cut Ewedu. This is of course the uncut one. I'm going to add a little okra to that. This is fresh okra. And this is for Amala. In the Ewedu, we're going to put crayfish, some potash. Then we have fresh iru, that is, it's not been dried at all. This fresh pepper. This is the pounded one. That's what we're going to use in the drawer, which is the Ewedu okra. We are going to get on with it. First, we are going to put our Cowleg aside for a minute, turn on the heat, and then get our stewing pot out. To this pot, I'm going to add the red oil. Ladies, who was here when we did the red oil stuff the last time? There was a show where we did the red oil, but this one's not going to get all excited like the oil this time. Will not let it get excited. We're just going to let it go in, and immediately the oil goes in, we're quickly going to put in the other ingredients. I like red oil, so I'm going to put quite a bit of that. We'll just let that begin to heat up a little, not much. And then I'll quickly slice an onion. Okay. Even before the oil begins to charge, in goes the onions. So that starts cooking slowly. And as I said, the idea of Cowleg is so you would stew gently. That's why we're starting with the stew. Since it's a red oil stew, we're not going to fry the oil and let it all get all charged up. We're just going to put the onions. Once the onions heat up a little, we're going to add our tomato mix. This one, of course, it's become a basic thing on the show. If you have this at home, pre-cooked, all you have to do is like bring it in and use it. So all the goodness that you like in your basic tomato paste is what we have here. I have the red peppers and the tomato, ground and boiled. That's all, as simple as that. Now, cooking some of our meals, the major problem is the work. For instance, shredding the ewedu, cutting the okra into smaller bits. All of that is a lot of work. But you can do some of it a day before you need to do the menu. For instance, the cowleg, we cooked it a night before and then just kept it in the fridge. So when you want to use it the next day, you're not doing so much work. You know, it's work that stops ladies from going into the kitchen, right?
Yes.
It's a lot of work. So we're just going to add this now to our oil. All of that goes in, and if you notice, the cowleg is still gently simmering away in the pressure pot. Although we don't have any pressure on it now, we can just let it continue to simmer. Once this begins to fry, we can bring it and add it to the stew. To fry. Now, in order to save time, our cowleg is really already cooked, although we still let it simmer down a little. We can put that aside and start with the ewedu. That will help us save some time too. Well, now, when I cook just ewedu by itself, I don't cut it. I just get the leaves off the stem, put these basic ingredients that I'm going to use now, and then when those are ready, I put the ewedu in and let it cool. So I cook the ewedu first. Once it cools, you know, traditionally they have the little broom where they now mix it very well and break down the ewedu. But I don't know how to do that trick. So I have another trick. Once the ewedu has cooled down, I put it in a blender and I whisk like twice, and it's as good as the other method. But I'm not going to do that on air, because those people who love the traditional way, I think they will come out with their guns blazing and said, what did she just do? Did she just put ewedu in a blender? So that's just a little trick, young ladies, in case you're thinking how you can get your ewedu to be really smooth when you're cooking just the ewedu by itself. But today we're going to mix ewedu with okra. And there's another myth. Do you know the one where they say if you chop ewedu with knife, it means the ewedu is not going to draw. It will not be viscous anymore. But I'm going to try to mix the okra in case it doesn't draw that much. The okra will be a backup. And well, my mom, from whom I learned how to cook a lot of the things that I'm cooking, she's a caterer anyway. She mixes ewedu with okra very well. Even if she adds red oil to it, it's still viscous, it still draws. It's draw, but well, English they say it's viscous, but it still draws. So we're going to do a green mix because we have the stew. Okay, we'll let that fry a little more. just a little bit more, and then we'll add the other stuff. We are going to clean up a little from here. We'll be right back when we're ready to put in our cow leg in the stew, and then all the things that we want to put in our ewedu, we're going to do that. So we'll be right back.
If you travel around the world, you will find out that there is no place like Nigeria. Beautiful, peaceful, very warm and friendly climate all year round. Largest concentration of black people in the world. Hospitable, vibrant and happy people. There is no place like Nigeria. A land of opportunities. The biggest window in the world of business and investments. Extremely rich in multicultural diversity. There is no place like Nigeria. Nigeria, truly the heart of Africa. From the Nigerian Tourism Development Corporation, tourism is life.
Thanks for staying with the show. All right, we're going to put a little onion in our drawer. Still testing all the rules, right? When they used to say don't put onion in your drawer, we're still pushing the rules. So, well, but that's what cooking is about. Cooking with what you love, finding tricks around some of the things. So this goes in the water for the ewedu. It's almost boiling. Put that in. Put in the crayfish. Crayfish. This is a mix of the iru and fresh pepper. It all goes in. And we'll just let that boil a little. I'm going to put 1 beef seasoning cube. That's another thing that I'm going to be testing, right? Don't put salt, don't put seasoning cube. It will not let your draw to draw. We are still trying. That is done for the ewedu and okra. We'll just let that boil now. We'll check on our red stew. Yeah. Whoa. Once we put in the cow leg, it will thicken the stew some more. One thing about cow leg is that it has a lot of protein, and this protein is called gelatin. That's why when you cook cow leg and you leave it, it sets because it has jelly in it. We are going to find out how valuable gelatin is when we eat it. What's the food value of gelatin? In many cultures, a stew can contain everything to be eaten in the meal. Meat, vegetables, and even dumplings. This makes it popular in low-cost cooking. Here in Nigeria, cuts like cow leg is enjoyed by many. It has a good amount of marbling and gelatinous connective tissue that give moist, juicy stews. Generally, animal gelatin is derived from skin and bones and contains mainly protein. It also has small amounts of vitamins and minerals. On the industrial scale, animal gelatin can be processed to become colorless and tasteless and packaged as granules, sheets, or powder. It is then used in food, pharmaceuticals, and even cosmetic manufacturing and photography. Food for thought for the next time you enjoy that pack of jelly beans. Now you know the food value of cow leg, so we're just going to add our cow leg to our stew right now. Vexing on this side. Wait, let's do something. Let's put the okra first. I think okra will need more time to cook. So we'll put the okra first. A little bit of potash. 5 minutes of simmering. Then we'll add the Ewedu. Set the water for Amala. This is Amala Dudu. Set the water to boil. Mix the Amala. And we will be right back with our guest. Don't you go anywhere.
Nigeria nnukwu obodo aja amatụ n'ụwa niile gba gburugburu agbaala afọ 50 n'otu abidoro echi onwe anyị maọbụ independence n'asụ bekee. Oge eruola a ga-ekwusa esemokwu tigbuo ozugbo na agwa ọjọọ ndị ọzọ nwere ike ibute nkewa n'etiti anyị. Oge mgbaghara erugo, oge ịfụnanya erugo ka anyị ji ofu obi na-eme maka ọdịmma Nigeria. Nigeria orílẹ̀-èdè tó ń ṣọ̀fún wàrà tó ń ti wá pé ọmọ ọdún mọ́kànléláàdọ́ta báyìí tí a gbòmìnira. Àsìkò tó láti dẹ́kun ìjà ẹlẹ́yàmẹ̀yà àtẹlẹ́sìmẹ̀sì láàrin ara wa. Àgbájọ la mọ̀ fi sọ̀yà ẹ jẹ́ ká gbárùkù ti Nigeria kó ba lè kẹsẹ̀ járí. Àmọ́ ṣeé o.
Najeriya kasa mai albarka ta cika shekaru 51 da muka samu incin kanmu. Lallai wannan lokaci da na bada shawarwari na musamman mu haɗa gwada juna. Mu daina kashe-kashe akan addini ko kuma kabilanci, babu bambanci tsakanin mu, dukan mu ɗaya ne a gaban Allah mai komai mai kowa. Mu ba gwamnatin da ke kan gado goyon baya domin ci gaban Najeriya. As we dey jolly say Nigeria don knack 51 year, the ogbonge matter wey dey for ground now be say make we stop to dey kill ourselves. Say because I come from south, you come from north, you be Muslim, I be Christian. All of us na the same thing, no. Make we no gree make the devil spoil this better work wey God don start for Nigeria. Nigeria na our own. This better message na from NTDC.
Right, you're still with the show, and now I present to you our very special guest. I present Boyega Adeloja.
Thank you very much.
All right, you're welcome to our studio. You're a seasoned producer, director. Now you're a media consultant. That's the way we should address you, right?
Yeah, I think so.
You're one of the gurus of the industry. How has it been so far?
Well, if you say guru, well, I don't have any objection against that. You know, the profession is not easy. You have to keep putting in your best every time. And I've been in this for the last, I would say, 30 years, slightly over 30 years. And it's been well. I give great thanks to God, you know, and it can be better, you know, but I think the environment is a bit tough now, you know, in Nigeria, and but we think it's going to get better. That's the prayer.
All right, so even at this level, you feel like you still have a lot more to give to the industry. At what point do you get to say, oh, I've done a whole lot for this industry and I want to throw in the towel or take a break or leave the industry? Is it possible to do that?
I don't think it's possible to throw in the towel now because I'm not too old. I mean, if you...
No. It's not a matter of age.
Yeah.
It's a matter of you've done a whole lot in the industry, yes.
Yeah, but if you look at Walter Cronkite, you know, look at Larry King. He's still doing his interview. In fact, I believe that the older you get, the more experience you get, the better you get in this profession, TV production, and multimedia, and music. You know, the more, because I believe the more work you do, the more experience you get. And if you really want to stay on top of your job as a multimedia consultant, you also have to, you know, relate to the younger ones. You have to relate to what is happening. Technology is changing every day, you know. So yeah.
So can we talk about some of the things you've done so far in the industry, the ones that you're really happy about?
Well, I'm involved with Tayo Motor Show with our program towards the greater Nigeria. We just finished doing some documentaries for the Ministry of Water Resources. And I went to Gurara Dam. I've never been to a dam before, but it was awesome, you know, because we had to climb some kind of a hill and look down on the dam. And, you know, I have fright, for heights, when I go up there, so I just couldn't. So I told the cameraman, you go get the shot, I will stay down. I don't want to roll into the water. And we've done work, I'm doing work for the Nigerian Civil Aviation Authority. And I don't know, I've done so much that
it's not easy to
in
keep
the past,
track.
yes,
You know.
I mean,
All right, but are you happy with where our industry is at the moment?
well, if it has to be deregularized, I think it further, because before it used to be just the government stations like NTA, but now you have AIT, you have ITV, you have channels, so the competition is there, and you will agree with me that television production has come of age in Nigeria, although most of our agencies still go to South Africa. I don't know why they go, but I think to make the industry better, the government should support the industry by allowing practitioners to bring in hardware, hardware. I'm not talking about cameras alone, or the grips, the cranes, things that will make us not to go to South Africa so that we can keep the money here. We have a lot of producers, presenters like you, with good presenters, with strong presenters, ingenuity. We don't, if we have the equipment, half of the equipment they have in South Africa, I think we'll be doing greater than, South Africa.
But do we still have problem of manpower in the industry? Do we?
Well, we do, because the training facilities are not there. Apart from the television school in Jos, you will agree with me that there are no, and even the standard of the television school in Jos is questionable, So what we should be thinking of is, in fact, the other day we were discussing, me and my friends, said, why don't we can make a lot of money if we can set up a training school. Even here at MY Studios, I'm highly impressed that,
Thank you.
What you have here. You can even organize training for cameramen. But on a larger scale, I think the rich Nigerians who don't know where to spend their money can set up training school for practitioners in the television production industry, so that at least the standard can be very high. And it covers presentation, script writing, camera operation, makeup.
What I'm thinking is that, do we think that we can get to that stage where we're really, really proud of what we're doing?
I think definitely we will, because it will always be better. It will, I trust Nigeria. I love my country. The television industry is getting better.
Now, when you're not working, what do you do to relax?
I grind at the piano.
Okay.
I play the piano. I love music so much. And I have a friend who plays in Abuja here, so I join him. Music is a spiritual thing. It lets you relax, and it helps me a lot to strike a balance.
And your favorite musician so far?
I love Stevie Wonder. I love Fela.
Okay.
I love Wes Montgomery, who's a guitar player. George Benson. There are so many of them. Bob Marley. I love. I love good music.
Good music. Yeah. And your family?
My family is fine. They live in England, and I'm suffering. No, I'm not suffering. They live in England, but I decided to live here because for my age, I was living with them in England, but I couldn't just fit in, I don't want to be a second-class citizen. I believe I have more to offer here in my country, but because the kids were born there, they stayed there, and I don't see anything wrong. But for me, I'd rather be here.
If any of these young people wanted to get into the industry, what would be the most important thing that they should know?
If you're really serious about doing something, you get involved, like some of these young people that are here and they show interest in coming to your studio, MY Studio, seeing how things are done. That is the first. You must show interest. If you want to drive a car, you must attempt to drive that car. Then maybe from the street you go on the expressway. So what I think the younger ones will do, because there are not enough training schools yet for them, is to show more interest, read books about television production. For example, you can read books and learn about lighting techniques. You can learn about camera shot composition. editing, but you must show interest. That's the most important thing. Because if you show interest, definitely you overcome the problems that attached to it.
Okay. Do you cook?
Cook. Well, I do sometimes, because now that I live alone, I'm forced to cook because Biobac is taking all my money.
So you dabble, right?
All these fast food, you spend almost 3,000-4,000 a day to eat.
All
Now
right.
I try to cook. Because when my wife was around, I had to force her to teach me how to cook. But to be honest with you, I think I still go out to eat a lot. At
Cooking is not that easy. Is that what you're saying?
Yes,
All right.
my house help.
Thank you so much for coming to the show.
Thank you
And we're
very
going to be
much.
eating amala and
Oh, I love
ewedu
it.
with
Ooh.
okra and then cowleg
Ooh la
stew.
la.
All right. So that's what we're going to be doing shortly.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you
Mr.
very much.
Boyega Adelaja.
Thank you so much.
Thank you for coming. And that's the size of our show. You're just going to have to stay with us and watch us eat this amala, ewedu and cowleg stew, and we'll just be doing our stuff. We'll do it again same time next week.